Hola chicas, your season sis here with the latest episode that I am calling The Scarlet Letter is Now an S. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and share. This podcast is the audio version of a blog post of the same name. If you would like to connect to the links from that post, go to www.r-u-the-one.com. I have added a few new insights. The new Scarlet letter is S. S is for single, as in single woman. For single shaming to stop, we need to understand what shaming means and how it impacts women as they age. An unpleasant, self-conscious emotion often associated with negative self-evaluation, motivation to quit, and feelings of pain, exposure, distrust, powerlessness, and worthlessness is the definition provided by Wiktionary. Shamers shame others for reasons that include appearance, dress size, skin color, taste in music, art, singledom, slut shaming, mental health, career, femininity, and money. Some of these reasons may overlap to become redefined as single shaming. Single shaming comes from the idea that being single is somehow lesser to being in a relationship, explains Match.com's dating expert Haley Quinn. Occasionally, a well-meaning, albeit misjudged, compliment or a downright rude comment expresses this sentiment. In Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter, Hester Prynne's actions caused her shame. Single women's inaction prompts an accusatory finger pointed at them. Hester wore an A for adultery. Single women don't wear wedding bands. They are at fault for their lowered status. The way some look at it, it is simple. She needs to level up. If we embrace that shame, we will look in the mirror and see ourselves as broken. Somebody fix me, please. There is an assumption that every woman grows up dreaming of the day she will become a bride, wife, and mother. If she does not marry her high school or even college sweetheart, getting a ring should be the next step, shouldn't it? After all, next to earning a bachelor's degree, a missus is the most desired accomplishment. If it has not happened by the designated magic number, she must be doing something to prevent it. Get your priorities straight, girl. Want to get picked for the marriage team? Demonstrate your worthiness. At least look the part so that some man chooses you. Shame declares that you need to be in a relationship that might lead to a walk down the aisle. Everyone must be booed up at any cost. Who cares if the relationship is healthy? Eventually, the heat will turn down, but not completely off. Perhaps we need a makeover to make us more of a prospect. At 40 plus, we know that we are no longer PYTs, pretty young things. They may be our competition even with men our age. Enhanced exteriors have priority over our interiors. The beauty and fashion businesses are ready for us to hand over our coins for garments above and beneath, footwear, hair concoctions, and cosmetics. After all, we must stand out in the crowd and turn heads, darling. I have no quarrel with putting our best feet forward. Sans stilettos. Some men complain about independent/modern women being too alpha. determined to dominate and emasculate men. They proclaim that these women don't give off feminine vibes. They long to find women like their mothers or the TV moms filmed in black and white. If June Cleaver were alive today, would she be able to stay at home and vacuum in pearls and heels? As a woman of color like me, your mama may have worked outside the home and then started her second shift as wife and her mother once she came home. June and Ward raised 2 white boys in the 50s. Since I came of age decades later, the landscape changed. Getting an education and standing on my own 2 feet were emphasized. Post-college marriage would mean my role would probably be similar to my mother's. I have heard more than my share of unsolicited, well-intentioned, and rude comments. Voting and purchasing insurance flipped the script to my marital status. A woman who knew my family thought that it was okay to let me know that I should be ashamed for not bringing home a husband. My insurance agent wondered why no one had chosen a nice lady like myself. Weddings are settings where you expect questions about your status, plus love connections hoisted upon you. My late uncle stated on the way to a cousin's reception, "You should marry when you're young. When you're old, nobody wants you." He didn't say so, but I knew my name was supposed to fill in that blank. I don't know if people thought such comments would encourage or motivate me. Dumbfounded, I had no snappy comebacks. Today, I would say, stop single shaming women. Before I take it back, I'll add more to it. Here are some additional thoughts since the original 2022 blog post. More about Hester. Hester Prynne is the protagonist of Nathaniel Hawthorne's 1850 novel, The Scarlet Letter. She is portrayed as a woman condemned by her Puritan neighbors. The man that she committed adultery with, Pearl's father, was not revealed by Hester. The reader finds out near the end of the story. If Hester were in the church during my teens and 20s, she would have gotten sat down during her pregnancy, perhaps even asked to repent before the church. She would have to step down from the choir, usher board, or wherever she was serving. The baby daddy may or may not be asked to repent beside her. He, however, could continue serving wherever he served before. Some church neighbors' hearts softened after the baby was born. Others could not let her forget that the child was not legit. Another fictional character who wore the cloak of single shaming was Miss Scarlet from the movie Clue, inspired by the board game. There were 3 women in Clue. Miss Scarlet was the only single one. Mrs. White had multiple marriages and was a black widow of sorts. Mrs. Peacock spoke proudly of her husband. In the film, Scarlet wiggled what her mama gave her to get some help when her car broke down. She made reference to being the proprietor of an escort service and a member of the oldest profession. She stated, "I enjoy getting presents from strange men." Scarlet didn't seem to wear any shame. Scarlet is a shade of red that would be considered brazen by some. Back in the day, pearls would clutch if respectable women dared to wear red. Church women were given a one-way ticket to the fiery pit for painting their nails or lips with that war paint. It might be assumed by some that those women frequented the red light district, participating in various types of debauchery. All of this helped neighbors make the case that whatever name she was given at birth should be changed to Jezebel. Reclaiming my color, reclaiming my color. Red is my favorite color. Given an option, I'll always choose it. It lifts my spirits and activates every one of my senses. I choose not to paint red or any other color with a bad brush. Women whose status is single might be portrayed as a spinster or a siren, opposite ends of the spectrum. The efforts made to shame us may tempt some to borrow this line from Jessica Rabbit. I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way. I would like to propose a new definition for single. Reclaiming my status, reclaiming my status. I will use an acrostic poem. You may have done this as an icebreaker for a conference or other event as a way to introduce yourself. Here's mine. S. Satisfied. Content in the state I am in. This is from Philippians 4:11. Content but not complacent. I. Independent. Discerning between doing it for myself, asking for help, and or collaborating. N. Neoteric. Someone who is open to innovation or new ideas. G. Golden. Highly valued or successful, grateful. L. Living. Squeezing every drop of juice out of life. E. Enlightened. Open to learning new stuff from new people. Reclaiming my status. Reclaiming my status. You don't have to let yourself be consigned or confined to a box that someone else constructed for you. Choose whether or not you want to wear a letter on your chest and decide what it means to you. Could be a great conversation starter. This is your seasoned sis saying thanks for joining me. Have you ever been single shamed? How did you handle it? Tell me about it in the comments. Also, like, follow, subscribe, and share. Until next time, later girlies.